the rally?
Yes.
Okay, so who among you here is the first time to see me? Just want to make sure. Okay, so because I just have to go very, very brief and recap the first topic that I discussed from 2 days ago. So just a little summarization of my background before. I never planned to become a network marketer, much more to go to business or to become rich in life. It was never my dream. I've always wanted to serve my country. I wanted to become a military officer. So at the age of 18, I entered the military academy in the Philippines, hoping one day that I can serve my nation, so I can fight the civil wars in the south of the Philippines. So it was my first exposure to training myself to be mentally tough. So I think that was probably one of the blessings in my life. So when I joined the business, it wasn't that difficult for me to adapt to the trainings because I was ready mentally. But after a year, we had this coup d'etat in the Philippines, a coup attempt. There was a fragmentation of the armed forces. I was forced to go back to civilian life before becoming an upperclassman. So I had to work as an employee to support my school because I gave up my scholarship in the military. And I had to work as an employee in the fitness industry because my job has always been, to orient people in fitness. Because that's the only thing that we're doing a lot of times inside the military school. Exercise, drills, academics, but I was a fitness enthusiast, and so I went back as a civilian, working as a gym instructor for two gymnasiums. On my second gymnasium, I was exposed to a lot of businessmen, people in the Philippines who are making billions of money. So I had this first exposure of asking myself, Ariel, what do you really want in your life? Now you've got married, you have kids. I think it is time for you to start dreaming now. Because I was, receiving a very menial, salary as a fitness instructor. We have the so-called law of attraction that whatever you are thinking, you're going to attract it. And from that time on, I was attracting the possibility of having an opportunity to earn bigger income. All of a sudden, in about 4 months, I was given this great chance to work in the Middle East here, but in Saudi Arabia, which is a very tough country. I used to be a personal trainer of the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the very nephew of the king before. His father was the governor of Mecca. I was his bodyguard and trainer. So I worked for him for a couple of years, and I realized, it's not just all money. I was making good money here in the Middle East, but I wasn't that really happy because I've been always away from my family for 2 years. So even though I got the chance to travel for free in Europe, like France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, you get to see these beautiful places, but if your family is not beside you, it's nothing, right?
Yes.
I don't think that it is all money in this world. It's more for the love of family. So I thought of myself of one day going back, finishing my contract, just like I was just telling my fellow Filipino friends here. I told them that Dubai is just a temporary thing. Our dream is to go back for good in the Philippines and to become our own boss and to be the master of our faith, right?
Yes.
Especially the people from Africa who's building their network here, probably doing some employment. So after a couple of years, I realized that, and my dad always telling me, Ariel, finish your contract and find a business. Don't work for anyone else. I don't want you to end up like me because my dad is a very hardworking employee. He's a civil engineer, and he experienced working for many years, and he ended up getting old without saving anything. It's a very tough life. My mother is a music teacher, also very hardworking, but since they're just working for a boss, it only pays the bill. Not a bad thing at all, when you're working for someone. So I realized that. I went back home and put up my own business. I started my first traditional business. Since I'm a fitness instructor, my only skill is to teach people fitness. So I put up my own gym business. I learned how to manage the restaurant of my late father-in-law for my first marriage. It was very, very tough because I don't know how to cook. I don't like to cook, but I love to eat. So I was a master food taster. That's the only thing I can do. And my first time to manage people, it went good for 3 years as an entrepreneur. But then after 3 to 4 years, we were confronted with a lot of competition in the business. That's why you really have to compare the benefit of going to network marketing versus going to traditional business. Because our very high-paying traditional business before, we had a problem. Because just in front of us came one of the top fast food chain in the Philippines. We call it as Jollibee. They put up in front of our restaurant. Our small restaurant is only worth about 700,000 to a million peso. And then Jollibee put up their own franchise with the amount of 30 million. How could you survive? And then after that, at the back of my restaurant came McDonald's. On the left side of my restaurant came Chowking, the Chinese food. Everybody was eating my clients. 70% of our clients were gone. They were all eating on those fast food chains. Damn those fast food chains. And then one of my students, he got bigger, he got stronger, he became tougher, he became brave, and he got so mentally tough enough to put up his own gym also and compete against me. See, it's competition in the business, right? So in a matter of 3 or 4 years, all of my businesses went bankrupt. So I prayed a lot and I knelt down. I really prayed on bended knees. I prayed to the big guy up there. I said, God, please give me a better opportunity in life. And I promise to do my best. If you're going to give me any opportunity, even though it's not my line of work, I'm going to make it my line. Because nowadays, I believe if you really want to change your life, it is not more of a question of whether it is your skill or line of work. A lot of people nowadays, you can see people changing their line of works, their line of professions, their line of expertise. It's not a question anymore of expertise. It is a question of your desire to go to the right opportunity to change your life. And that's what I did, because in 1996, it was an answered prayer. I saw a streamer that was, the idea came from one of the founders of Alliance in Motion Global, but it's not in Aimglobal yet.